I am going to tell you about the greatest return on investment I ever received in my cinematography career. It wasn't from a fancy camera. It wasn't some weird and wacky, unique lens set. It wasn't from lighting equipment. It was from a $2,500 set of ND filters. And in the last 12 years since I have had those filters, they have made many, many, many multiples over what I paid for them. And hopefully it can be beneficial for your career, because I wish someone would have told me this exact same information much, much earlier. I would be way better off now. Okay? But before we get into the content of this video, let me just remind you about the Wandering DP Patreon group. It is the heart of the channel, is what makes it all possible. I couldn't do it without the support that I receive from Patreon, and the members get exclusive content each and every week. There's video breakdowns of my own work, of other people's work, lots of a back catalog of podcasts and breakdowns and other things that are designed specifically to make you a better cinematographer so you can get more work. That work will improve the quality of your life forever. You will be way, way, way better off, and you can thank me at the Oscars. Okay, that's all that I ask. Link is in the description below. I appreciate all the support. Okay, let's get into this video. Now, what did I buy? I bought a set of ND filters. And what was my thinking at the time? My thinking at the time was a set of ND filters is going to cost $2,500. That's a lot of money. Okay. I was thinking, oh, am I really going to buy $2,500 worth of filters? It doesn't make any sense. Except I did something smart early on in my career. I looked, I don't claim to be a genius, but I looked and I said, what would be a good idea is to track how many days a year I am working. Okay. And when I do that tracking, if I do one day here and I do 2 here and then I do a 4-dayer, I can add those all up at the end of the year, and that will give me some sort of idea about how much I'm actually working. And why is it important to know how much you're working as a cinematographer? Because at the end of the year, let's say you work 50 days. 50 days, that means that you are in charge on a production. You're in charge of 50 days worth of allocating capital to different rental houses. Okay? And you add that number up, and it gets to be a very large number very quickly. And because you're allocating the funds in the camera department, that means that you're going to get questions from producers like, where would you like to get the gear from? Would you like to get it from this place or from that place? And then you decide where that capital is going to go. Okay, and that's an important point, because if you didn't have this ability, this strategy would not work. Okay, if you're not in a position to be able to allocate where the rental budget goes on your jobs, maybe this isn't for you. Okay, just something to keep in mind. But the back of the napkin math was I worked 50 days in 2013. I saw that filters, if I rented them for $50 a day, I could make the $2,500 purchase price in 1 year, not even counting the tax depreciation or anything like that. The write-off that you could have with purchasing the filters, it was just sheer back of the math numbers. Now, what does that eventually lead to? What was the actual investment process, and what were the numbers like? Initially, $2,500 price. What did I do? I looked at the gear list and the invoices from the other rental companies that I was using, and I saw something magical. I saw that the filters rented for $100 a day, not 50, but 100. So I could rent them out for $100 a day. And at 50 days per year times the 100, that's $5,000 per year. Okay, that means after the first year, it's paid off, and I've doubled my money. And I went from $0 to $2,500 in my pocket. Yay. Plus, I have the filters, which I can use the next year and the next year and the next year. And if you compound it, it's been over 10 years. And I think it was 12 years when I initially bought them. But 10 years times your $5,000, that's $50,000. Okay? The filters have made me $50,000 at a minimum if you average the 50 days over that time period. So what is that? That's like 2,000%? 2,000% return on investment. Okay? Where else are you going to get that? I'm not sure. It sounds pretty good to me, though, 2,000%. But it gets even better than that. You think, no, surely it can't be that easy. You can't get better than that. Oh, you'd be mistaken. Okay, let me tell you why this actually works in practice. The biggest thing with ND filters and the biggest thing with any piece of gear that you're looking for is that it's used on every single job. Okay? You don't want some weird techno crane or some specialty lens if you're looking to make a return on investment. You want every single job. Okay? They're also very small and portable so that you can bring them with you if you travel. You're like, it'd be weird if you brought, I don't know, a matte box with you, right? If you were going to start your gear collection with a matte box and you were going to travel to some other city, if you brought a matte box with you and just that's strange. If you brought ND filters, you can say, well, this is the ND filters that I prefer. It's the look that I like. And you get zero pushback from producers, okay? Because that's your style. You can implement it into the job, which brings me to the second point, which is that you get no pushback from the producers, okay? $50 on a $10,000 camera package. If you have a $10,000 camera package, nobody is going to blink twice at $100 for filters. All good producers, experienced producers know that those are going to be in the budget. They don't care where they come from. They just want you to send through the invoice. Okay, they just want the job to go smoothly. So you just tack it on. It doesn't raise any alarm bells or anything. You just put it on the invoice. There you go, $100. It could be going elsewhere. Now it's going to you. Let's go to number 3, which is no depreciation, no obsolescence. The camera that I was using 10 years ago, you couldn't shoot a commercial now with that. That's a potato, right? That thing is completely and utterly worthless now. These things, the exact same. It's the exact same piece of glass. As long as your first AC doesn't drop it, you're okay. These things have no firmware. They have no technology that is going to get rid of them. The only thing now is that some of the cameras come with ND filters. Okay, so now you take the set that was 7 ND filters, and now you cut it down to 3. Guess what you charge? The same amount of money, right? Why? Because the people are used to paying that amount anyway. Okay, number 4, I just mentioned it before, there's zero maintenance. Right? There's no upkeep. All you have to do is clean them from time to time. And even if you don't clean them, there's going to be a first AC there on the job who will clean them for you and say, why is this thing so dirty? And you look around and say, I don't know. Maybe because nobody cleans them. So there's no maintenance. You don't have to, you talk to some grips or gaffers that own their own gear, and they have to be constantly maintaining it. They got to keep it clean. They got to wipe everything down. They got to tag electrical items. They got to test these things. There's lots of stuff to be doing outside of the job in order to keep that gear up to date. What's one thing you don't have to do any maintenance to? Filters. Okay, number 5 is compounding value, right? We said in the first year, year number 1, you've made your money back, right? You're up. You're not down, you're up. Year number 2, you're up only. Year number 3, you're up only. Year number 4, up only. You get where this is going. Yes, it sucks. You bite the bullet, you buy the best possible filters that you can possibly afford, and then they will last you forever. And that brings us to number 6, which is the final one, which is cash flow value. Okay, you don't have to shell out $50,000 for a new camera. Okay, $50,000 is a lot of money to come up with. How are you going to come up with that money? You're going to go into debt. You're going to save up cash. It's a long and hard road to get there, and you're not able to get ahead unless you can get on that gear ladder real fast. But $2,500 is not bad compared to 50 grand. Okay, and instantly that means you've got cash flow coming in, so you don't have to take on debt. You don't have to be underwater. You don't have to be praying that there's not an update cycle while you're paying that 50 grand off. It's instantaneous. You are winning, and you will never stop winning unless you stop getting jobs. And even if you stop getting jobs, as long as you got, As long as you got 25 days, one time, you're even. Okay, well, that's a gamble that I'm willing to take. Now, I'm not telling you to go out and buy a set of neutral density filters, right? The market has changed. Maybe something's different. It's more the mindset of how you should approach what areas could I look to improve my own company's balance sheet as fast as possible in the safest manner possible. There's a really easy return on investment formula, okay? It's going to be, what's the expected initial price? Okay, so what's our initial price? In our example, it was $2,500. And then you divide that by the daily rental price that you think you can get. How do you find that out? You look at all the rental houses around you. You figure it out. Okay, in our case, it was 100. And then we're going to times that by our expected number of days per year. How do you figure that out? We just talked about it. You don't like this. You shouldn't be gambling of going like, man, I really think I can do 100 days a year. No, you can't. All right, if you're just starting out, if you could do 10 days a year, that's pretty good. If you keep track of this for 1 year, that's okay. 2 years, now you've got more information, more touch points that you can rely on. 3 years, okay, now we have a solid base where we can start to see whether or not this stuff is true. So if you're doing, again, 50 days a year, now what you get at the end is the number of years things are expected to take to pay off. Okay, normally anything under 2 years is a pretty good investment. Anything over 5 years, you're in serious trouble. okay, that's a red flag. 5 years is such a long time in the film industry, in any industry, especially nowadays. 5 years is way, way, way too long. I would be gunning for 2 years. 2 is the magic number, okay? If you can do it in then, it's not bad. Am I telling you to go out and just overload your entire life with gear? Probably not. But you're going to want to start small, which actually reminds me of another benefit of ND filters. Is ND filters, if you're traveling and you're going to rent your gear in another city, rental houses don't mind you saying, oh, actually, leave the filters off. I have my own filters that I'm going to bring because I like that style or they work for me. It's kind of like look filters like glimmer glass or whatever you're going to bring to add onto a project. They're small, they're portable, they travel with you, and they're easy to take off of a big, giant order list from a rental house. You know what's not easy to take off a gear order from a rental house? Some like a staple, like a mat box or like a camera. Like we're going to take everything from this rental house that we're going to travel with, but we don't want their camera. We're going to bring that ourselves. It's like, what? That's not going to work. People are not going to like that. So again, just another benefit of thinking small on every job. People are used to paying for, and nobody's going to care if it comes from you rather than someone else. So what to do? If you're just getting started, what's the easiest thing that you can do? You track your days, you see what equipment you're renting. That's the easiest way to do it. Let someone else decide for you, or let someone else pay for you to research what gear you're actually using. And there will be a pattern, a very consistent pattern. Every single job, staples will be on the job. It doesn't matter if you're shooting a Sony Venice or a Arri Alexa or whatever other camera is out there. Okay, that thing is going to change and fluctuate. Lenses, that is going to change and fluctuate as much as the optionality that is around you for lenses. You're probably going to want to experiment. You're not going to want to lock into, oh, I'm going to get a set of master primes or something. Okay, these are small little wins where you can get instant cash flow, where you don't have to take on debt, where you can get that compounding going for you as fast as possible. Because then that snowball of ND filters leads to, well, maybe I can look at something else like a monitor or a wireless system or some other small thing that I can tack on. You're probably not going to get head and legs as your second purchase, right? That won't make a whole lot of sense to add on to the filters. It's like start small, accumulate in the background. Now, the alternative is you don't do any of this, right? You just shoot and shoot and shoot. But I think on this channel in the past and on the podcast in the past, we've done calculations of just how much you are leaving on the table. Because if we go back to that 50 days a year and the camera budget per day is $5,000, you're in charge of $250,000 worth of money flowing somewhere. You can direct that towards other people. Like, why do rental houses love cinematographers so much, and why do they cultivate relationships? Because the cinematographer is responsible for $250,000 a year of allocating funds, right? They better take you out and buy you beers, right? If they want business. Or you could just shoot some of that to yourself, or you could shoot it all to yourself. It's up to you, okay? But cinematography careers don't last forever. A lot of people are not super successful. So if you get the opportunity to be allocating $250,000 a year, choose wisely on where you send it and on what you spend it on. Now, does this have anything to do with the creative side or the look creation or the job of cinematography from a creative or technical sense? Nope. This is just add-ons. This is just, can you improve your life while still doing what you like to do? I don't know. It's not for everybody, but hopefully it helps someone out there. Okay, that's going to do it for this one. Many thanks. We'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.